Hey everyone, today we're doing a complete recap of El Tigre, the adventures of Manny Rivera. Before we get into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. So without any further delay, let's get started. So the show revolves around a 13-year-old kid named Manny Rivera who's stuck in a pretty unique family situation. On one side, he's got his dad, Rodolfo, also known as White Pantera, a superhero who's now trying to be the best dad ever, but just can't help jumping back into the action to fight the bad guys. Then there's his grandpa, Grandpappy, or Puma Loco, a retired supervillain who's famous for his past crimes and still gets a kick out of causing a bit of trouble. Now, Manny isn't just your average teen because with a simple twist of his belt buckle, he becomes El Tigre, a superhero or villain in training. The problem is that Manny can't decide whether he wants to follow in his dad's heroic footsteps or his grandpa's mischievous ones. And when he needs advice, he turns to his friend Frida, who's always up for some fun and games, though not always the best influence. So Manny's at a crossroads, trying to figure out what kind of person he wants to be. In the first episode of the series, we see Rodolfo coming home and sharing a story with his son Manny and Manny's friend Frida about fighting squid creatures to protect a precious artifact called the Jeweled Mule of Maya. Despite mentioning he's retiring from superhero life, Rodolfo insists he'll keep fighting evil. Later, Manny and Frida sneakily use Rodolfo's magic bronze boots of truth for a night of adventure, but accidentally break them. When Rodolfo needs the boots to stop a casino robbery by a villain named El Oso, his powers fail without the boots, leading to his defeat. And after this, he is so ashamed, Rodolfo takes a break from being a superhero for a month. Now, Manny, Frida, Rodolfo, and Grandpappy were enjoying ice cream when Sartana of the Dead and her monsters crashed their evening. The Rivera men then went off to battle Sartana, leaving Frida, who was outmatched and embarrassed. After a series of mishaps, including a bear licking her and becoming a laughingstock on TV, Frida secretly transforms into La Tigresa with Manny's El Tigre belt, seeking to prove her worth. She impressively defeats monsters and faces Sartana, but her identity is eventually discovered. So, even after going through a perilous final showdown, Frida's clever use of a potato saves them, proving her bravery doesn't require superpowers. Frida's planning her birthday party on Saturday, and she's only inviting her closest friends, leaving out her school rival, Zoe Aves. She and Manny reminisce about Zoe's past troublemaking, and in a gesture of friendship, Manny surprises Frida with a custom belt buckle and an epic birthday piñata. But Zoe, as her alter ego Black Cuervo, plots revenge against Manny. One night, Manny, as El Tigre, stops Black Cuervo's chaos in the city, but despite a failed attempt to impress her, he's fascinated by her skills and even considers joining her dark side. However, this leads him to break his promise to Frida, causing a rift between them, just as Zoe wanted. On Frida's birthday, Manny, influenced by Black Cuervo, nearly ruins the party. But seeing Frida wearing his gift, he realizes his mistake. He fights Black Cuervo and wins, but leaves their relationship complicated, with Zoe vowing revenge but also harboring feelings for him. Now back together as friends, Manny and Frida find joy in turning trash into roller skates and safety gear, inspired by Manny's dad's belief that fun doesn't cost a thing. As they skate around town, they crash and spot an ad for fancy new skates, Lux Blades, sparking a desire to buy them. Then, a chance encounter with a weasel leads to a quick cash reward when they return it to its owner. This gives them an idea to make money by finding and returning lost pets. Manny and his El Tigre persona quickly gathers all the lost pets and they buy the Lux Blades. However, their happiness is short-lived when they see another kid show off an even newer toy, the Lux Scooter. On the other hand, it's been some time now with Rodolfo Rivera coaching the Miracle City Matadors, but they're off at a bad start. They lost their first game and got roughed up with Manny pointing out that they're the only team not cheating. Rodolfo, however, stands firm on playing with honor. But Puma, a former Matador, recalls their past victories, but also a painful loss to the Calavera Zombies in the championship, vowing to defeat them this time. Amidst this, Manny tries to convince Rodolfo to cheat like other teams, but Rodolfo, reminded of his own honorable past as a Matador, refuses, despite the harsh consequence they faced before. Meanwhile, Puma shares his collection of trophies with Manny and Frida, highlighting their slim chances this year under Rodolfo's honest approach. So Puma devises a plan involving a jug band to exploit Rodolfo's allergy to their music, which leads to Rodolfo becoming severely ill. This way, Grandpappy is then forced to take over and he eventually leads the team to an underhanded, dirty victory. Then, after a few days, Manny and his crew accidentally crash into their home while stopping El Oso from stealing a valuable jewel. But with Manny's mom, Maria, coming to visit, they've got to quickly clean up the mess. And El Oso, seeing this, gets curious about the fuss, leading the Rivera men to share their backstory. So Rodolfo, aka White Pantera, and Maria had Manny and were doing fine until Maria saw Rodolfo get hurt battling a monster, making her freak out. She wanted him to quit the superhero life, but Rodolfo couldn't give it up, leading Maria to leave. Meanwhile, Grandpappy moved in with them and Maria pursued a career in mariachi, touring the world. Manny, watching his mom become a star, got his El Tigre powers during this time, but never told her. But even after trying so hard, Maria finds out Rodolfo is still playing hero in Miracle City. That's when Manny worries she'll make him quit and move with her. But he loves the city too much. So he and his gang go all out to keep the city peaceful and show her there's no need for him to leave. Now Manny and his mom, Maria, then went to dine out, but they got ambushed by El Oso. So naturally, Manny turned into El Tigre and fought back. Despite his victory, Maria suggested a new approach, arguing that villains like Oso needed rehabilitation, not just jail. And that's when she decided to help change the city's villains for the better. Maria then welcomed villains, including El Oso, into their home for rehabilitation. But Manny and Frida were skeptical and attempted to prove the villains were faking the reform. Well, they did seem to be genuinely helping out, much to everyone's surprise. However, it later turned out that most of the villains were indeed planning a heist all along. Except for El Cucharoon, who genuinely embraced Maria's teachings. When the plot to rob the city mint was uncovered, El Cucharoon stood against his fellow villains, helping Manny to stop them with his newfound resolve. After the confrontation, Maria acknowledged her mistake in underestimating the challenge of changing villains, but Manny reassured her, pointing out El Cucharoon's genuine change of heart as proof that some people can indeed change. Rodolfo was gearing up for the epic 200th annual celebration of heroes by playing tricks on Manny and Frida with a sneaky game of find the ball, even hiding the ball up his nose. But as they tried to join the celebration, Manny got blocked by the hero meter machine that couldn't decide if he was a hero or a villain, forcing him and Frida to watch it from home. Things took a turn when Sartana of the Dead unleashed chaos by trapping everyone at the celebration under a dome, aiming to seize a powerful gem to dominate the world. Manny saw his chance to shine, so he and Frida braved the chaos to confront Sartana. In a clever way, Manny challenged her to find the ball, betting the gem against her magical guitar. And by using his nose trick, Manny outsmarted Sartana, saved the day, and was celebrated as a true hero, sharing his winning strategy with everyone. After all this commotion, Manny and Grandpappy go rooftop fishing for items, when Rodolfo offers Manny a chance to fight crime together. Manny's interested until Rodolfo wants to talk about personal issues, prompting Manny to escape with Frida. Suddenly, they're attacked by a robot but saved by their former enemy, the Titanium Titan, who claims he's changed and wants to join them. Despite skepticism, they test his sincerity with Rodolfo's truth-revealing boots and decide to team up. After some successful crime fighting, the Titan shows them his new oceanic base. However, Frida discovers the Titan's true intentions. He's still obsessed with Rodolfo, dislikes Manny, and has planned all these recent attacks. So, as they confront another attack by squids, they realize the Titan orchestrated everything to eliminate Manny, and with Frida's help using the robot, they defeat the Titan and his squids. Despite the betrayal, Rodolfo still offers Manny a chance to join him in crime fighting, but Manny awkwardly declines again, preferring to escape with Grandpappy. But then Manny discovers his mom, Maria, was actually a superhero named Plata Palagrosa. After finding her old glove of power, Maria gets back into her superhero life. However, she gets too carried away and ends up freeing all the villains from jail just to have someone to battle against. Thankfully, Manny uses his tail to take the glove off her hand and brings Maria back to her normal self. As time passes by, Manny starts to mess up on missions with his dad and starts feeling down about disappointing him. One day, while out with Frida, Black Cuervo causes trouble to grab Manny's attention, but he's not in the fighting mood. So to win back his dad's pride, Manny plans to date Cuervo and exploit her feelings, just so that he can learn her family's crime secrets and help his dad stop them. He charms Cuervo into teaming up for a night of mischief, then tells his dad, who secretly foils a crime to protect Manny's plan. But when Manny confesses his true motive at the dock, Cuervo, heartbroken and angry, attacks him. Despite Manny's apology and offer to let her win, she unleashes her fury, leading to Manny and his dad being defeated and left sinking underwater by Cuervo's family. Back at school, Manny and Frida saw the school dance flyer at Leone Middle School. They dreamed of an epic night with jetpacks and monster trucks. They joked about going together but ended up searching for other dates. Frida settled on Sergio after he promised to do her homework until college, and hoped to make him more interesting by introducing him to her favorite music. Meanwhile, Manny wanted to go with the bad girls of the school, trying to impress them with a plan that involved faking a monster fight with his grandpa's help. But the plan backfired, leaving Manny and Frida to face the music alone. So despite the initial disappointment, they ended up going to the dance together, finding it less exciting than expected, but still enjoying each other's company. Sergio, feeling left out and vengeful, watched them from a distance plotting his next move, while Manny and Frida danced the night away, unfazed by the drama. After the school dance, Manny and Frida are super excited about scoring the last tickets to a concert. But instead, find their friendship tested when a charming new villain, Silver Wolf, enters the scene. It turns out Frida is captivated by Silver Wolf's adventurous lifestyle, leaving Manny feeling sidelined. This strains their bond even further as Frida spends more time with Silver Wolf, even ditching Manny for a moon adventure. However, when Silver Wolf is revealed to be the same villain from before, Titanium Titan, he tries to turn Frida against Manny, but she chooses her friend over the villain. So, after a brief confrontation, the Titan is defeated, and Frida realizes her mistake, agreeing to make amends by securing tickets for another concert. Finally, in the last episode of the show, we see Rodolfo catching Manny and Grandpappy as they steal the City Hall's dome. The situation then further escalates when the dome falls and destroys the building, causing the mayor to blame the Rivera family. Following this mishap, the Riveras find themselves in court and are almost sentenced to 20 years of onion mining. But instead of this, they're offered family counseling with Dr. Butterman, who insists they give up their special items: the golden sombrero of chaos, the El Tigre belt, and the bronze boots of truth. This leaves them powerless and struggling in their daily lives, facing bullies and failing to stop crimes as they once could. Despite all these challenges, the Riveras find strength in their unity, realizing they share much more than just their last name. They try to enjoy a normal life together, but the crime in Miracle City worsens, pushing them to reclaim their powers. After proving to Dr. Butterman that they've learned to work together as a family, they get their items back and swap them to correct the mix-up, fully embracing their heroic selves again. Together, they defeat a wave of villains threatening the city, saving Miracle City and earning the admiration of its citizens. The series closes with the Rivera family standing victorious atop a mountain of defeated villains, celebrating their bond with the phrase "Familia Forever" as they set off for their next adventure. And that, my friends, is El Tigre in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed. Smash that like button and dive into the next video for more mind-blowing content.